So what do you expect me to say?
Let's get him!
I know you feel this way. Coming after you.
You know, there's a reason I love indie games so much. One of the best things about them is their ability to step outside of the norm. Big name developers have huge budgets and can't afford to take risks. They have to play it safe and listen to the market research and stick with what they know will sell. Indie game developers don't really have that restriction. They usually have small budgets and sometimes no budget at all. The result can be something vibrant and creative and brilliant and full of character and fun in ways you could have never imagined. Or it can be Superbrothers Sword and Sworcery EP.
Sword and Sworcery, or is it Sworcery, is an indie game available on Steam for $8 and iOS for $5. Most notably, it was released along several other all-star indie titles in Humble Indie Bundle 5, largely regarded as the best Humble bundle to date. It originally hit Apple mobile devices in March of 2011, but made the move to OS X, Windows, and Linux in 2012. It's a touch-based or point-and-click adventure game depending on what platform you're playing it on, and follows a mysterious warrior called the Scythian on a woeful errand to expunge an anomalous evil from the land. Right off the bat, we can already tell it's going to be one of those games. EP? EP stands for Extended Play and usually refers to music albums. How is this game an EP? It's full of musical imagery that, frankly, feels completely out of place, but that doesn't make it an EP. Apparently, the game serves as a musical masturbation vehicle for composer Jim Guthrie. Awesome. And who the hell are the Superbrothers? There's only one main character, and I'm pretty sure it's a girl, right? I'm looking at a female. It kind of sounds like a girl. I think that's long hair I'm looking at. Oh yeah, the NPC's Twitter feed says I'm a girl. So who the hell are the Superbrothers? According to the Wikipedia article, Superbrothers is the name of the developer. What? What developer puts their name in the title of a game? You don't just slap your name on the title in a desperate bid for recognition. You make the game speak for itself so people look up your name and come knocking at your door for more. It's not called Valve Half-Life 2. This video isn't called Nick Jenkins' KBMOD Indie Sword and Sworcery Kinda Sucks. I'm glad this isn't the norm, or Modern Warfare 3 would have been a freaking nightmare to name. We're introduced into the game by a cigar-smoking 1% type who refers to it as an experiment. Oh, good. I'm not playing a game, I'm a lab rat. What are we testing for? Being a hipster? Easily being tricked into thinking a game is deep? Cancer? Whatever, let's just get a move on. So for a majority of the game, you're just sort of wandering around. It's actually kind of nice at first. Even if you have a particular destination in mind, it still feels like a hike through the woods, and it's pretty. The game's unique pixelated style is seriously beautiful. I mean, look at this deer. I wish the last deer I ran over in real life looked half this good. Look how it just slips away into the brush. It's gorgeous. The wandering does start to feel grating later on in the game though, especially when the game starts doing a lot of significant backtracking. The Scythian isn't exactly fast and there isn't any sort of quick travel. This is most apparent during the few times I was left to solve a puzzle somewhere far away and totally misinterpreted what part of the map I was supposed to travel to. The worst part about this is that not only does it make the game annoyingly slow paced, but it also feels like a cheap gimmick to try to add length to the short game. The Scythian narrates her own adventure and has an amusing way of talking that combines the game's high fantasy tone with the speech of a modern bitchy teenager. This honestly gave me a laugh. It's a unique style of narration and offers the mental image of one of the mean girls in a suit of boiled leather. Unfortunately, the writer decided to use this for every single piece of inner monologue in the game, and it burns through its own novelty like a xenomorph trying to give itself a Hummer. Thankfully, the NPCs are a bit more tolerable, although there's only a handful of them, they don't say much. One of them, a young girl, is just named Girl. This is played a comedic effect, but my cynical side couldn't shake the feeling that she was so named because the writers didn't feel like coming up with anything. The other notable NPC is a woodsman named Logfella. He also has a dog named Dogfella. Alright, that's pretty good. The musical tones may be pretentious, but at least the music actually delivers. The music is appropriately the strongest point of the game, which is probably why they decided to half-ass the rest. Just listen to this bit right here. It doesn't matter if you're blind, you know shit is going down. A lot of the game's puzzles, in giant air quotes, revolve around the Song of Sworcery, which refers to the Scythian's ability to enter a sort of meditation to magically interact with her surroundings. These aren't really puzzles so much as just figuring out where on the screen you're supposed to click. First it started me off with clicking obviously pulsating bushes, but soon I was clicking sheep in a strict but arbitrary sequence and spending 20 minutes trying to find the last waterfall I was supposed to touch. Seriously? That's a waterfall? It's a pixel wide! This isn't gameplay, this is a shitty novel where nothing is explained and you have to play a round of I Spy to read the next paragraph. You're supposed to use the Song of Sworcery to find these creepy flying fetus things that supposedly grant miracles, although the game fails to explain why they respond to tickling nearby sheep. They end up being the main focus of a majority of the game despite no explanation beyond dem shit's magic. Eventually, tapping aborted angels leads to discovering a piece of the Trigun Trifecta. The totally not Triforce then attacks and serves as a sort of boss battle. It's really long and drawn out and boring, but everything the Trigun Trifecta does lines up perfectly with the boss music in the background, so that's pretty neat. It also features yet another Zelda reference in using your sword to volley a ball of energy back and forth until someone fucks up and takes damage. Combat is rare in this game and usually takes place in scripted events like these. The Trigun fights are the most complex the game has to offer, but that's not saying much. You click and hold the on-screen shield button to block, tap it at the right time for a context-sensitive dodge, and click the sword button to attack. It's about as simplistic as it gets, although that can be forgiven since Sword and Sorcery was originally a mobile game. What can't be forgiven, though, is the fact that fighting serves no purpose other than to show up at predetermined intervals and gate the game's progress. It's not rewarding, it's not challenging, it doesn't feel like a fight for survival, it's not fun, it's a glorified press X to continue. It's like a QuickTime event without the cutscene. So whatever, you lurch around a forest for about an hour touching things, eventually you find yourself in a dream world, lest we forget that this is hipster Zelda. What is that, a bear? Oh man, this guy's jamming out. I like this guy already. Hey, where are you going? Wait, why am I killing him? What the fuck? I finally find a character in this game that I actually like. You make me stab him repeatedly? Yeah, great. Thanks, Superbrothers. The rest of the game, Dream World or no, is largely the same. You walk around, tap winged fetuses, battle and collect another piece of the not Triforce. This game tells you from the beginning that your woeful errand will kill you, although like everything else, it doesn't explain why. One cool thing is that with each piece of the trifecta you collect, your maximum health drops to indicate the toll being taken on your body. That's a nice touch. Eventually you complete your mission and you freaking die. End story. Wait, what? What happened to that psychological experiment shit we were talking about at the beginning? What happened to that? Where are my results? What was my score? You gonna tell me which One Piece character I'm most like? Give me something! This game has a bad habit of flat out lying to you. In the beginning, the guy clearly tells you that your game experience will be enhanced if you bind your Twitter account to the game and use an in-game button to generate tweets about what you're doing. As far as I can tell though, this game does literally nothing but pop out a tweet to advertise their game. Fuck you, Superbrothers. If you want people talking about your game, you should make a good game, not trick them into doing it. I didn't want to do this. I really didn't want to be that guy that makes videos lambasting games he doesn't like. There are plenty of people on the internet doing that already, and a lot of them do it better. I just wanted this series to highlight an indie game that I thought was truly great with each installment, but I felt like I needed to pull something from the Herculean effort it took to finish this game. It's just such a waste of potential, such a waste of time. Wait, I'm sorry, how long did it take me to beat it? 3 hours? Are you fucking kidding me? It felt like I was playing this game for weeks and it only took me 3 fucking hours? I may have gotten this in a bundle, but this game costs $8 under normal circumstances, and an indie game this short and this boring is not worth $8. Maybe you'll like this game more than I did. It wouldn't take much. You can even argue that it's not even really supposed to be a game, but more of an experience. Ignoring for a second that assertion would make you sound like a total asshole, I would in turn ask why then I bought it in a bundle of games. That is, other games that are, you know, fucking games! If they were going for an art project here, they might have succeeded. The music and pixel art are both beautiful. The groundwork to make a great game is here. The game creators just failed to link the necessary elements in any meaningful way, and it ends up feeling like a shallow and cynical attempt at game design. It's like a musician and a pixel artist both locked themselves in a room with the original goal of making a game in mind, but 15 minutes in they decided they were too cool for video games. If you are insistent on playing this game though, I wouldn't recommend the PC version. Having it on PC just feels pointless. If I were to do it all over again, I'd definitely give this game a shot on a mobile device. So if you have an iPhone or an Android or... wait, I'm sorry, what? The developers have said that they'll never move it to Android? Let's see what they say here. The integrity of the Superbrothers Sword and Sorcery EP experience is a priority for us. Our creative vision for Sword and Sorcery EP was rooted in form factor, input style, aspect ratio, resolution, communication capability, and overall experience offered by Apple's Touchtronic machinery, specifically the iPhone. Despite what you may have heard, Android is a total dead end for a complex project and a tiny team like ours. It wouldn't just be unwise, it would be irresponsible. Yeah.